at Thunder Ridge, and today we're going to put together a lamb kit. And that is going to be the supplies that you have necessary for lambing, for your sheep, or even for your goats. A similar thing would work. And maybe even a little idea, a lot of the things that you might need if you had a horse or a cow being born, but this is more particularly aimed at a sheep. I want to have everything together where I can get a hold of it, I can grab it, and I can go. So the first thing I need is I need a backpack. And I got this backpack the other day at Dollar General, $8. Nice little cheapy little backpack. First thing we're going to do to get ready, take off the price tag so I don't be like Minnie Pearl. And I'm going to write on here specifically what it's for, a lamb kit. I want to write on this because I don't want any confusion with any other backpack that we have in the house. And you notice I also tried to get bright colors so that it was easy to spot, easy to grab. So that's the first thing I need. The second thing you need in your lamb kit is you're going to need some towels. And I've got like 2 bath towels and a washcloth. And I'm just going to put those in the kit. And the best way to pack, most of you already know this, but if you're going to pack something to be small, lay it out lengthwise, and then we're going to roll it tight. Okay? And the reason you might need towels in your lambing kit, we used some just the other day. You might want to buy these specifically for your lambing kit. You can get them at like Goodwill, thrift stores. They don't have to be new towels, but they might not want to be your very best towels because there's a possibility that you'll have to throw them away when you're finished. But you don't want any kind of paper towels or anything like that. You need real good actual toweling. So we're going to take the 2 towels and we're going to put it in the lambing kit, and I'm going to lay these on the bottom of the kit. I'm going to fold the second towel the same way. We're going to roll these real nice and tight. And they are going to take their position at the bottom of this bag. Okay? And then I've got a washcloth. And it wouldn't hurt to put in 2 or 3 washcloths, or, you know, even 3 towels. Because, you know, if you've got twins, you may need quite a bit of cloth to dry them off if it's a cold weather especially. So that's the first thing in the lamb kit. See if you can see in there how we got it packed. Okay, now we're going to start filling this out with things that we're going to need. And the second thing that we're going to put in the lamb kit is we're going to put in some OB gloves. And some of you have probably never seen an OB glove. I think you can buy these in sterilized packets, but really as long as they're just very, very clean, they should be fine. But the problem with an OB glove, as you can see, they're very long, and they come in a package of like usually 8 or 10, and they're all packaged together in one thing. So that means if you're in the middle of a lambing, you're going to be out in the dirt trying to get one glove out of the package. And then what happens if you need a second glove, because you just got them all in the dirt, and that's going to just introduce you know, bacteria and things to your sheep, so you do not want to do that. So while I've got them here in a nice clean environment, I'm going to fold them up, just make a nice little present out of it, and then I'm going to put 1 glove into a little cheapy sandwich Ziploc bag. We're going to smooth all the air out of it. We're going to zip it tight. Now, chances are you probably will not have to use these, but if you do, if you have a lamb that's malpresented or what they call dystocia of any kind, where you have to reach inside of that lamb and feel what, or the sheep, the mama sheep, and see what's going on, you need to have a glove. You can just wash your hands very thoroughly, and you can, you know, do it free-handed if you wanted to, but the cleaner things are, the better things are. So what most veterinarians do, they wash their hands, they put on the glove, and then sometimes they put disinfectant on the glove. So we've got them set up like that. As soon as I've given that a little chance to dry on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these 2 gloves to the rest of the gloves that I have that are already packed. Again, I've got them in here in this bag. Try to get as much air as possible out just to make it easy. I'm going to zip it shut. And then, let's say we're in the barn. We need a glove. You can pull them out. You can get out one. You can get out one glove, pull it open, put it on, toss it, and you still have all the rest of them clean. That way you can just use them one at a time as necessary. It is probably a good idea to have a full package of these gloves, because sometimes you may need to go in 2 or 3 times. You may have 2 or 3 lambs. You may have like an instance where you have to give a sheep the a shot or something, and then wait a while before you go back into the lamb, or the sheep, so you don't really know how many times you're going to need to go in, and every time you go in you probably should use a good glove, a new glove. So we're going to add the OB gloves in our bag, and I'm going to put them at the very back of the bag, so they're just there handy when we need them, okay? Okay, now we're going to move on. When you're using an OB glove, you always, always, always need to use lubricant. And this is just what they call General Lube. It's just to keep things slick and moving easily. You can get a disinfectant kind, you can get a sterile kind, but it just makes things as clean as possible, and you really need to have a lot of lube on before you reach into a sheep or a goat, because you know they're pretty small. So we get the lube. I've got it in another bag just to keep it clean, and if something would crack, burst, it's not going to make a huge mess. And since these little backpacks are set up with these little side pockets, I'm going to put my lube into one of the side pockets. So that's perfect for that. Sometimes when you're in the middle of a crisis type situation, you may forget what's going on. And so what I have here is I have some information sheets. And this one is a real good one. It's Sheep 201 info. That's the website is www.sheep.101.info, and then they have, this is 201 section. It's a beginner's guide to raising sheep. It's a very good resource on the internet. I'll put that in my comments below. It has things about the lambing process and things about how things are supposed to be, diagrams about how they're supposed to be presented, and then it also has pictures of different abnormal presentations, so that we have something to kind of look at if the need arises when we're in that situation. I have this one. I have another information pack that I got off of the internet about signs of delivery and things like that. And then the third thing I have in here is some information about how to use a stomach tube if you have to do a stomach tube for lambing, and I will show you that later. I'm going to fold these up. I'm going to fold these each in their separate little thing. And I put it so that I can understand what it is real quick before I reach in, and I'm reaching in to find it. And like I said, sometimes just general information like that, because even though you know, or you think you know what you're doing, sometimes in an emergency situation you forget. Or maybe you have somebody that's with you that's trying to help you, and they've never been doing anything like this before. So having some information packets is a good thing to have. I'm going to put those into a package. Again, I'm going to take my big marker, and it's going to be marked info. And then there's one more very important thing to have in this package, and that's my vet's number. Okay? We definitely want to have my veterinarian's phone number in the bag on the top where it is very visible. And you need to have a good veterinarian. You need to make sure you know where at least one good large animal veterinarian is. It would be even better to have a second veterinarian's number on the back side in case for some reason the first veterinarian is unable to be contacted or he can't get there. But get this information ahead of time. Know these people. Have them know you. Have them know where you live so they don't have to have some kind of a GPS to find your house. It's worth paying a trip charge. Sometime have them come out, check your flock, check your situation, pay that trip charge. Because then you will know that veterinarian, you will know who he is, how he operates, he will know you, he will know where you live, and then in an emergency situation, time is of an essence sometimes, and it's great to have somebody that knows where you're at. We had an emergency situation this last week. The veterinarian that we've had for years, he knows me, I know him, he knows where I live. I told him what was going on, and all it was a phone call away. So, and that was on a Sunday afternoon. So, it's always on a Sunday afternoon, by the way, or in the middle of the night, or it's snowing. It's never an emergency situation when it's nice and pretty and dry and sunny. Just doesn't happen. So get that number or those numbers, put them in your info bag. Get this zipped up good. We're trying to keep everything clean in here. It's why I'm using so many little Ziploc bags, and I'm compartmentalizing them. As you can see that vet's number even through the bag. So that's what I want to do. And I'm going to put it in this front zipper because it's an easier place to have it. Also in this zipper, I have a pair of scissors. They're not necessarily great scissors, but you never know when you need a pair of scissors. It would probably also be a good idea to have a knife, like a folding knife, that you have boiled and sterilized, just in case you need a knife for something. Boil it for a while, take it out of the boiling water, put it directly into a Ziploc bag, right on it, fold it up, put it in here, and then you will have that if you need it. You never know what you need, but when you need it, you don't want to go tracking things down in an emergency. Next thing we're going to put in our bag, a turkey baster. A turkey baster or some kind of a suction device is very important to have in your lambing kit. One of the lambs we had born the other day was born breech. We needed a suction device to be able to suck the fluid out of the nostrils and out of the mouth, and you have to pick them up and kind of swing them by their feet to get their fluid out. You have to do as much as you can to get the fluid out of their lungs as fast as possible, or they will literally drown and die. So you want this turkey baster where you know where it's at and you can get to it quick. So I'm putting it in the main part of the component. Like, hopefully we don't need it, but it's there. It's there if we do. Okay? Next thing that's going in my kit. We've got some syringes. These are just great big syringes. Things that you might use a syringe of this type for: if you have to tube feed a lamb, or if you need to spray water to irrigate something, a great big syringe is very handy. These are sterile. You know, they're easy to have. I've also got a single needle in case I need it for something, and I've just got these in a box. And like I said, it's one of those things, I've got it if I need it. So it's going to go into the bag. Okay? We're going to put in some iodine. And this is Gentle Wound Iodine Spray. It is 1%. It's a 1% iodine solution, so it's pretty mild. But what this is going to be used for is primarily for putting on the lamb's umbilical cords. If you don't do this, it's possible that they can get infections through their belly button, and it can, you know, cause the lamb to die later on. So you want to be able to have some iodine to put on your belly buttons. And I've got it again in a bag, and we're going to put it in our other little side pouch. So it's ready when we need it. Hopefully it'll stay clean and we can get a hold of it at necessary time. So, okay, next, this goes along with the iodine solution. This is a navel cord medicator, and it is from Premier One. It's called the Sanisure brand, and the purpose of it is, you can, just the way it's made, it's got a little lip around this outside edge, and it narrows. I don't think you can see that, but it narrows down inside, and you can pour some iodine into this cup, and then when you stand it up, the iodine all goes down into this reservoir down at the bottom, and it's got a little hook thing so you can hang it on the fence or whatever, have it handy, or be able to use it and put it back. And how it works is either you hold a lamb up so that its back is against you, head up, or a helper will hold the lamb in that position so that its belly is out, head up, legs down, and then you put the navel thing on its belly button. You scoot its little belly button up in there, and then you just have to turn it over upside down while you're pressing it against the lamb, and all of the iodine comes down into the cup, onto the navel, soaks it really well. Turn it back around and take it off, and you have just put the iodine on your lamb's navel without causing major, huge messes. And that's always a good thing. It saves the iodine, so you're not wasting it. Saves the iodine, so you're not wasting it. And it also gets that lamb's navel cord taken care of. Again, it's going to go in a bag, keep it clean. After the lambing season is over every year, I take it, scrub it up really good, and I'm just going to put on your belly button so everybody will know what it is. So now that is going in the kit. The next item that I'm going to put in our kit is a feeding tube. And how this works, this is a gravity feeding tube. You rinse it out, flush it out with clean, fresh water. You kink the tube so it still keeps water in it. You put the tube down the baby's throat, let it swallow the tube. You'll have to get directions for that. And then you can put some colostrum into the top, and when you open the tube, it'll just slowly feed the colostrum directly into the baby's throat. It's something you definitely need to get instructions on. You need to get trained on how to do it. Your veterinarian might be able to train you how to do it, but this is something we have in our kit just in case we need it. It's something that we used in our last emergency situation. and quite possibly it saved the lamb's life because they need that little extra kick to get them going. So again, it should be scrubbed clean before you put it away, sterilized by boiling. You know, make sure it's nice and clean and everything's ready to go between lambs. Okay, and I'm labeling it feeding tube. And then once again, this is going to go zipping. And I'm just putting it in the bag right now. I will put it in a new bag. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to boil it. I'm going to take it out of the boiling water and put it in a clean bag. So I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So right now your feeding tube is in here. Feeding tube, we're going to put in the very front zipper. You probably won't need that, but that's something that's it's handy if you've got it and you've got it where you need to get to it. So that's where we're looking so far. Other things that you will need to have on hand that you do not necessarily have to put in this bag, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you keep some colostrum supplement on hand at all times. This particular one works for calves, foals, goat kids, lambs, alpacas, elk, fawns, baby pigs, puppies, kittens, llamas. So it's kind of a general one. They do have specific ones for the different animals if you want to do that, but I like to have some of this colostrum supplement. It is a powder. All I need to do when I need to use it is you open it up. It's got a little dipper inside, and you can just mix it with some hot water and shake it up real good, and then you let the water cool till it's body temperature, and you can give it to your animal. Again, sometimes it will save an animal's life. It's just enough energy to get them going, to get them going. Sometimes you may not be able to get the milk, the colostrum from the mother. We've had instances in our past where we had a mare that had a baby, sat up and looked at her baby, hemorrhaged and dropped dead. Bad situation. Had a live baby and a dead mother and no colostrum. Having stuff like this on hand saved a baby's life. So that's a very important thing to have on hand. Other thing to have on hand is you want to have nipples. I believe this is called a Pritchard style nipple, and it just goes on like a 20 ounce soda bottle, like your typical pop bottle, and it just goes on the top of there and screws on tight. You can take the pop bottle, you know, pour the pop out, drink the pop, whatever. It's clean inside usually, but you can rinse it out with some hot water, mix your colostrum up, pour it in there, stick it on the nipple, and you can bottle feed the baby that way. It's good to have several of the nipples like this. It's important to have them on hand where you know where they're at, so you don't have to hunt them down. That's something else. I'd put 2 or 3 of them in here with the feeding nipple. It's usually pretty easy to get a hold of a pop bottle around our house at least, or even, I think even a small water bottle might fit the nipple. Just be sure you're aware of what fits and kind of have something like that on hand. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have several bottles of bottled water. Just, you know, your plain bottled water. Clean water, it's, you know, ready to drink, sterile water. You can flush things, wash things, do all kinds of stuff with a water bottle, and you know it's not going to go bad. So you can just stick that in here too and keep it in your kit. You can put it in one of the side pockets if you have enough room. I think mine will actually fit in here. I jam it in here. It goes right in there with my lube. And I can have that on hand so that when I'm ready to go, I've got water, I've got everything I need right there and ready to go. Like I said, these little nipples, you know, I'm going to get those. Again, I'm on the label. And I'm going to put that in with my feeding tube stuff, so if I need it, it's there. I also used like a little quart jar with a lid. You don't necessarily have to keep that in your kit, but it's nice to have that handy to shake up your colostrum and stuff like that if you need to. I imagine if you needed to, you could probably mix it in your little water bottle. Other things to have in this bag. A watch with a second hand. A lot of us have phones that you can have a timer on, but when you're doing anything medical, a lot of times a watch with a second hand is a good thing to have in a kit, because you may have to check heart rate or respiration rate of the animal you're working on. You need to have what is normal temperature, what is normal respiration rate for the animal you're working on. Have that in your info bag so you can remember it in the emergency time. It would be a good idea to have a thermometer in this bag. It is a good idea to have a little bit of sterile cord string in this bag. Even something like some dental floss would work if it's the non-wax dental floss, because you may have to tie off a cord if it's not, you know, stopping up like it's supposed to if the lamb's bleeding out of the cord or something. There's just several other things you can put in this bag. Get a veterinarian to help you if you want to, so that you have the things you need. But the main idea is to have a kit, have it ready. If this one's got a little handle down here, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to snap a flashlight of some kind on this, just in case you need extra light. If you can think of anything else you want to put in there, load it up. I will try to have a little list of what I have in my lambing kit, and I will post it for you. But the main thing is to be prepared and have it where you can pick it up and roll. You know where it's at, you know what you got, and it's all in one place. This is Thunder Ridge Homestead. I hope that the information I've given you today will help you in some way. And thanks so much for watching.